Welcome to the Goalpreneur, the podcast for women who are done letting indecision run the show. I'm your host, Courtney Spaeth, and around here, we don't just set goals, we follow through. And this is where capable women, come to get clear, make confident decisions, and finally move forward in a life and business that they actually want to wake up to. So, if you're ready to stop hesitating and start becoming the woman who finishes, you, my friend, are in the right place. So, your next chapter starts now. So, let's get started. All right. Today's episode is Make One Decision and Don't Look Back. This one's been sitting heavy on my heart lately, and we're talking about making that one decision and pre-deciding not to look back. No second tabs, no backup plans, no keeping your options open, because self-trust, it's born in the finality, not in the reflection. I'm going to say that again. Self-trust is born in the finality, not self-reflection. So this is actually something that I've really struggled with all my life. I was always made to second guess my decisions. And once those voices start creeping in your head, that's going to be what's always there. That's always going to be that like that I want to say compass, but it's not really compass. But it's that voice that is always causing you to second guess yourself. And if you listen to it long enough, it's going to paralyze you. And if you know something, only you know what's good for you. And everybody else is going to have their opinion on what is best for you. Now, growing up, my mom was, uh, she was my mom. She was, I will say, critical. And she believed everything was a reflection on her, how I acted, how I dressed, the decisions that I made. That put a lot of pressure on me as a kid, and going through my teen years, that was highly, highly stressful. And I wanted to do something. I would come to her and tell her what I wanted to do. And she would just start with, that's not a good idea. I don't think you should do that. That's not smart. That's not realistic. And as a kid, it's like, that starts to get ingrained in your mind. And now that voice is always, always going to be there. But today's episode, we're going to talk about ways that you can stop that way of thinking, start trusting yourself again, because like I said, you know what's best for you. Now, I will pause for a second and say, if you're making a big decision, like a life-altering decision, then it's wise to get counsel from 3 to 5 other people. So I would not suggest family, and I would not suggest friends, because they're going to, whether they know it or not, their suggestions are typically going to be a little bit more on the selfish side, because they don't want you to leave. They don't want you to change. They want to keep the status quo. They want you exactly how you are. So what I would suggest is talking to your boss if it's not going to interfere with your work. So talking to your boss about your plans, your idea, talking to a pastor, talking to some neighbors, or I would say like a teacher. So those are just a couple examples of outsiders that you can get wise counsel from, because it doesn't matter to them what you choose to do. They're going to offer the best suggestion, kind of looking at the bigger picture, because they have no skin in the game with you. So those are just some suggestions on outsiders that would be a great place, like a good starting point, people to start talking to. and leaving the friends and family to a different subject. So, all right. Thanks for listening to that little rant. But again, that was something that I struggled with all my life. And as the date of this recording, I'm 47 years old. And that deciding for myself that what I choose to do is because it's what I want to do, not because I'm listening to somebody else's voice, and not because that second guessing is coming into play. I do still second guess myself, but then I realize what I'm doing. I stop, I pause, and it's like, okay, let's get back to the root here. Let's get back to my foundation. What does Courtney want? What does Courtney need? What's the best path for Courtney? Because I know my goal. I know my end goal. I can see it. It's like the big pictures hanging right in front of me. I can see what I want. Now, what is the best way to achieve that goal for me without listening to anybody else? Okay, so if you're like me, you've been really stuck in that feeling of being indecisive, second guessing, this episode, it is for you. So let's jump right in. We're going to start off with the cost of half decisions. So most of us don't actually make decisions. We hover near them. We make half decisions. We always keep a backup plan just in case. And then we wonder why we never feel fully confident or clear. It's like that, your mind, it's always like a Jackson Pollock. It's going different directions. Maybe that line is pretty straight, but then it's like, oh, okay, maybe that isn't the best. So it pivots, turns direction. Yeah, that one doesn't feel good either. Pivot again. So now you start to get those squiggly lines all over the place. It is very confusing. And what happens then? You throw your hands up and you stop. You don't even progress forward. And you maybe walk away from something that you really do want because you're just stuck in that paralysis mode, that indecision paralysis mode. Or it's like trying to merge onto a highway while keeping one foot on the brake. Okay, you're moving forward, but you're not going very fast. And that's how I used to live. It's keeping a million, I'm looking at my computer screen right now, it's keeping a million tabs open. Million's quite excessive, but I have 2, 4, 6, 8, I have 10 tabs open on my computer. And this is just one browser. My other browser, I think I have 15 to 18 tabs open. And when my husband was looking at my computer the other day to do something, I said, before I open up my computer for you to look at, I, you're not allowed to say anything and you're not allowed to judge. And he just started laughing. So he opened up my computer and I said, again, you're not allowed to say anything. You're not allowed to judge me. And he's like, what? What's the problem? And I said, look at all of my tabs that are open. So he goes, oh, that's nothing. You should see mine. So I didn't know that about him. He is, I would say, type A personality, little OCD. It's just how he grew up. But our kids and I, we have kind of taken him out of that. And to know that he has multiple tabs open. So he's in cybersecurity. He works for the government. He's in cybersecurity. And I thought that because how he is with computers, he's very I'm trying to think of the word and it's not coming to me. So I did not know that about him, that he has that many tabs open, and that's usual for him. That's typical, but whatever. Okay. So when you have all those tabs open, one foot on the brake, you're trying to go somewhere, it's like you're constantly in this loop of low grade anxiety because your brain is trying to manage all of the what ifs at once. And that is super exhausting. Just saying it and thinking about it is exhausting because I've been there. I've lived in that. I'm sure you listening to me talk about this, it's maybe stirring up something inside of you because it resonates with you. You can understand it. So, this next one might sting just a bit, and it's self-trust is born in finality. Okay, we talked about that just a little bit ago. But here's one thing that I've learned, and it changed everything. Self-trust, it doesn't come from reflection or that rumination. It comes from deciding once and then backing that decision with action. It's like planting a seed and deciding, yep, this is the garden that I'm going to tend to no matter what. This is the place. This is where my garden is going. I am 100% certain of that. And I'm going to grow everything that I need to right here, starting now. And you're not even looking at the rest of the yard thinking, oh, well, maybe there's more sun over there. Maybe I should plant a garden over there. Or, this gets part sun, part shade, that might be better, or the soil's a bit different over here. Maybe that's a better place. No, you decide one time, this is where my garden is going. It's a perfect place. I'm going to plant everything that I need to here, and I'm going to tend to it and watch it bloom. So, self-trust grows when you tell yourself, this is what you've chosen. I'm not entertaining any other options. And that's when your brain shifts from should I to how do I? Now, that's a powerful place to live from. Instead of should I do this? Should I do that? Should I be over here? Should I be doing this? Instead of how do I? How do I make this work here? How do I get to my next level here? That's a powerful place to live from. Now, here's some examples that really bring this home. It's going to drive everything home that we've just talked about. It's like deciding you're going to the gym and not thinking about it. You're not negotiating with yourself every morning. It's just, I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Decision made. No more wasted energy. You don't have to think about it every day. You don't have to have that fight in your mind about, do I really want to go? I could be doing something else. Okay, that's a conversation that usually happens in my mind when I'm talking about the gym. So I have a very deep love-hate relationship for the gym, for working out in general, even though I love strength training. And I've been teaching Pilates since 2007. Love it. I absolutely love it. And yet it's that love-hate relationship in my mind that every morning. So I work out Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I work out 3 days. I work out 3 days a week. It's not always Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I do work out 3 days a week. 2 of those days are I teach Pilates and some other classes. So I don't really do too much on those other days. And the other days where I do work out, it might be going for a walk. It might be doing a quick workout here in my garage. But I finally decided that I'm going to make my health a priority because I have to. I'm at that age where I have to make my health a priority because seeing what has happened with my mom at a young age, she was 65 when she maybe had a stroke, which kind of jump-started Alzheimer's. So she is now 71 and she's in the moderate to severe category for Alzheimer's. She has no idea who I am, who my sister is, who our kids are. I have 3 kids. My sister has 3 kids. So she has no idea who her grandkids even are. She sees all of us as friends. She does remember her 2 sisters who are still around, her 2 sisters and her parents. Her parents have passed away a long time ago, but her mind reverts back to that. And so seeing where she is now in the lifestyle that got her up to that point wasn't very healthy. So knowing what I know now, I am making changes. It's non-negotiable. So I see the end goal of where I want my life to be when I'm in my 60s and my 70s, my 80s, maybe my 90s. I don't know. It's God's timing. But I made the decision to make my health a priority because I have to, non-negotiable. So I changed my eating habits. I changed how I view movement or fitness. I and I'm kind of veering off here for a second. I used to view movement and fitness as, ugh, I don't want to do this. I have to go teach. Like, have to emphasize have. And I was driving to go teach one morning and I'm like, what a great day. Like, I get to go teach. This is how I get to start my day, encouraging a room full of women who are there to learn, who are there to engage with other women and seek that support and motivation and encouragement. And I get to speak life into them right away in the morning. And then I noticed when I did that, I just got goosebumps. So when I started thinking that way, when I changed my mindset, started thinking that way, it was like, oh my gosh, my whole mood shifted. I saw my day differently. I saw my work differently. I saw how I'm presenting myself differently. And instead of it being like a negative thing, it was now a positive because I get to start off my morning with stretching and connecting my mind to my body and my muscle and breathing, focusing on those deep inhales and full exhales and resetting my nervous system. So my body has, for a very, very long time, been living in fight or flight, survival, or freeze mode. It doesn't shift yet into that parasympathetic. It's all in sympathetic mode. And my nervous system is completely dysregulated. So now another part of why I shifted is I need my body to feel safe and know that the past is no longer a part of my present. And I need my body to feel safe and be able to shift into that parasympathetic mode. So there needs to be that balance between the two nervous systems, and that's what I'm working on. So that's another reason why I shifted my mindset to, this is great. I get to start my day off like this and with these other women, and our day is just going to be set off on the right foot. So I want you to know that you cannot grow if you're constantly saying, well, this doesn't work. You know what? I'll just go back to my own old job, or I'll just stop, and I guess it wasn't the path for me after all. If it doesn't work out, whatever that is, I'll just go back to what I used to do. Okay? Stop. We cannot think like that, because that's like that safety net underneath. We're never going to have both feet on the gas pedal. We're never going to push that pedal fully to the floor. And it's going to keep us in that like hesitation mode. It's now where we want to be. Okay. So it's also like trying to sail a boat while you're tied to a dock. Doesn't work out too well. You're not going to go anywhere. You're never going to feel the wind in your sails because you're still anchored to the what if. What if a big wave comes? What if it knocks me over? Okay, well, what if none of that happens and you have a really great smooth ride and you see the beautiful sunset and you see the beautiful water? So just start to think about things differently. Change your mindset and stop thinking about the negative what ifs. Um, so when you pre-decide, you free your future from your past. Let's say that again. When you pre-decide, you free your future from your past. That has no tie there anymore. So it's time to cut that cord. All right, now here are 5 ways to stay committed to one decision, and these 5 ways are 5 ways that will actually back up your one decision to pre-decide not to look back. So, number 1, you remove the back door. If you're always leaving a way out, your brain won't commit. It's like burning the boats, okay, or burning the bridges. You have no way to get back from where you started from. I know you've heard that before. So when there's no escape plan, your only option is to move forward. So, for example, if you're building a business, don't spend hours scrolling job boards just in case, okay? That is not going to be an option anymore. You wanted to start a business, go all in. If something doesn't work, pivot. Don't give up. Don't toss it to the wayside. Just pivot. So if you're committed to your health, stop keeping junk food in the pantry just in case. Now that is, um, so that can be a huge stumbling block for some people, is junk food. Like if you have kids, it's even more of a stumbling block because kids love junk food. My kids do. And my biggest crutch is popcorn. I love the Black Jewel organic popcorn. It's been my crutch for a very long time. And I've decided that I will not have it multiple nights throughout the week. I will have it just one night, and it will be on a Friday or a Saturday, probably on a Friday. So that was mine. I'm stating it publicly. It's going to happen. Okay. Number 2, anchor into your why. So every decision feels hard until you remember why you made it. When doubt creeps in, ask yourself, why did I choose this in the first place? And it's like climbing a mountain, but then halfway up, deciding that you're going to reevaluate the trail. Okay. You've already made it halfway. Why would you stop and go back? Your goal was to reach the top, to reach the peak, to see the beauty of it all. Why would you stop halfway and give up and go back? You wouldn't. Maybe some people would if they're living in that past mindset, or if they weren't entirely sure in the first place of what their goal was. Chances are they maybe made a goal, and now just stay with me. Chances are they maybe made a goal like, yeah, I want to climb that peak. I want to climb that mountain. My dad did it. My grandpa did it. His dad did it. And it just goes on and on down the line. And you now wanted to be a part of that. But did you really? Maybe not. Maybe that wasn't the path for you, but because everybody else did it, you decided, no, that's what I have to do. So for those type of people, yes, maybe you get to that halfway point and it's like, no, I made it halfway. I'm good. I never thought I would get here, but I'm good. I made it halfway. I feel successful in my own right. I'm good. I'm going to go back. Okay. There is a small population of those type of people. So just remind yourself of why you started in the first place. Now, number 3, you need to create proof of progress. And what I'm talking about here is nothing new. You've heard it from, I'm sure every day on social media, you've heard coaches talk about this. And it's writing down small wins. So this one I'm serious about. So something really small. Maybe you closed a client. Maybe you had somebody reach out or leave a review on one of your coaching programs or your digital products or something that you're doing in your business. Maybe you were able to cut down by a minute on walking 5 miles or even a mile, wherever your starting point is. Maybe you were able to shave off a few seconds, maybe 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, or even minutes. So wherever your starting point is, see those cut downs on times and see that as a small win. Maybe you were able to run for 2 minutes longer than you did the prior week. That's a small win. You're making progress. So it might not seem like anything huge right off the bat, but when you write these things down, when you keep a journal or keep track of your progress, now 30 days later, 60 days later, you can look back and be like, holy crap, this is where I started from. This is where I'm at now. I've actually come a long way. Like I started out maybe running 3 minutes and felt like I was going to die. Now I can run 6 minutes or 7 minutes and I feel pretty good. Like I'm winded, but I feel pretty good. So write those small wins down. It's important that you keep track of that because you can look back at any time and see how far that you've come. All right. Let me just scroll up on my notes here. And number 4, you need to surround yourself with others who have also decided that there's no safety net, there's no turning back. making a decision to move forward and sticking with it. So the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most are typically it's typically who you're going to become at some point in your life. Maybe not right away, but at some point in your life, those 5 people who you hang out with the most, who you surround yourself with the most, typically who you're going to become. So if you're hanging out with people that are kind of couch potatoes, they like to drink a lot, they like to have a good time. Nothing wrong with having a good time. But they like to party. They like to maybe gossip or talk about other people. You're going to get roped into that at some point. Now, you hang around people that have goals, they have ambition, they have drive, they commit to their health, they commit to working out, they commit to eating good. And it's like, okay, they're not going to the bars or drinking every night or binge drinking on the weekends. And they get up and they go out and do something active. They go for a walk. They're out hiking, they're biking, they're rollerblading, they're golfing, they're playing pickleball, they're uplifting to other people. And you hang out with those type of people enough, it's like, oh, yeah, that feels really good. I feel energized when I'm around them, and I like the direction that they're going. It's like you naturally gravitate to that. So it's easier for negative people that really don't have a lot of goals in their life. It's easier for them to drag other people down versus the other way where you're trying to lift and elevate others to your level. If you like to prioritize health and wellness and being active, and maybe you're an occasional drinker or whatever. So, and then you're hanging out with a group of people that are just couch potatoes and eat crap food and drink a lot and just gossip and have such a negative, gloomy mindset and outlook. It's going to be so hard to bring those people up to your level. It's not going to happen. They're going to drag you down. Now, is that always the case? Maybe not. Maybe not. Is it a majority of the time? Yes. So think about your circle, your tribe, your group of people that you choose to spend time with. What side of the fence are they on? And if one side aligns with your goals, that's where you have to be, my friend. You cannot be on the other side. You're going to go absolutely nowhere. So get on the right side of the fence. Surround yourself with people who've also decided what their goals are in life. They're going to hit it. They're going to stay committed, and they're not going to second guess or question every stinking move that they make. Okay. They're not going back, and neither are you. So now, final number 5, rehearse your future self, not your past. So every time you replay your past, you're reinforcing old patterns. Now, I know this for a fact because I've been in therapy for a very long time. My husband and I have been married for 16 years. This year will 16 years this past September. And for about 13 of those years, our marriage was an absolute hell. No communication. We were 2 ships sailing opposite directions. There was mental, emotional, verbal abuse coming from him. And I was like a beautiful, not, I was like a beautiful piece of pottery. And I was broken so many times, no amount of tape or glue or whatever you want, super gorilla glue, no amount of that could hold me together. I mean, that's why my nervous system was so dysregulated, so dysfunctional, because of the situation that I was living in. My body got used to it. And now I'm we have been in therapy. I was in therapy myself for about 5 years of that time. He got into therapy for about 4 years. And then now we were separated for about a year. And then we were able to come back together. He got properly diagnosed by a psychiatrist as bipolar, which the Marine Corps probably made even worse. And so now he is properly diagnosed and has been on medication the past, I think it's 4 years, no, 3 years now, which is an absolute miracle. It has changed him. It's changed our relationship. It's changed our marriage. We are back together. We have been living in Florida now for the past, well, this will be 3 years. And he our marriage was able to be repaired. So that was another goal of mine, God willing, if that was our path, that our marriage was to be mended and repaired, for our family to be back together. God willing, he would make it happen. And he did. So I'm very grateful for that. But I've learned to stop replaying the past and being present and looking toward the future and how he is now. So I do find myself at times reverting back to how he was, or when there's a disagreement. We know how to communicate in a healthy way now. So that's not a problem. And when we have those communications or disagreements, he does sometimes revert back to his past behavior. It is getting less and less that he does that, but at times he does revert back, which sends my nervous system through the roof. It puts me on high alert, and it makes me start to second guess. And I'm starting to replay all old scenarios from our past of living in hell. That doesn't do me any good. It doesn't do him any good. It doesn't do our family any good. So I've learned to notice that and stop and kind of remind myself, no, this is the situation. Here are the facts. I'm okay. He is not like how he used to be. He is a different person now. And we will talk about things and diffuse in a healthy way to diffuse a situation and actually come to a solution. So when you rehearse your future, when you visualize the woman who's already living the result of that decision, you're starting to rewire your brain. You're building that new wiring in your brain. It is definitely possible. Look it up. Do some research on that rewiring of the brain. Now, Tony Robbins, I believe he is a firm believer in that. And that's a lot of what he teaches, is rewiring old mindsets, old wires, getting rid of those. It does take time. It's not like it can be done in a weekend. I did his UPW, Unleash the Power Within. Yeah, UPW. I did that a couple years ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the answer. No, it was a start. It was like a good push in the right direction of, okay, this is what I learned. This is how to reframe negative thoughts, negative beliefs. And so I can learn to start to rewire my brain, my thoughts, my thinking, and my patterns. So it's like an athlete that's mentally running through their routine on game day, which is something that my husband and I talk about with our son. He's 15. He's at a prep school up in Boston, and he is playing hockey up there. And we talk to him about visualize your game, visualize that you're going to be running through people, visualize that you're going to make plays. You're a playmaker. You score goals. You do what's best for the team. Visualize that. Visualize your team winning. That right there, so powerful. If you've never done that before, I highly, highly encourage you to start doing that every day. Whatever you're facing, just visualize your life, your dream life, whatever you would like, your end. I don't want to say end goal, because goals are always shifting and the line is, the bar's getting higher and higher. But visualize what you want. Visualize yourself going through the steps. Visualize yourself exercising, doing that weight training, going out on those walks, living a healthy lifestyle, eating good, eating clean, enjoying connecting with people. Envision what you want your life to look like, your future self in a year or 5 years from now. Envision that person. Keep that person in your mind. Do that every single day. The chances are you actually achieving that skyrocket significantly. So you have to start believing that this is who I am down the road, my future self. That's who I am now. That's who I'm going to live like. That's who I'm going to think like. That's who I'm going to work like. So start doing that visualization every single day. All right, we're in the final stretch. It's the final shift. Now, here's the truth that most people miss. When you finally decide, you stop negotiating with yourself. When you finally make that one decision and you go all in, you're going to stop negotiating with yourself. You're going to stop negotiating. You're going to start creating. And when you start creating, that's when the beauty and the magic, it all comes together. So every ounce of energy that used to go into, should I, shouldn't I, all that like back and forth, so exhausting. That's now going to get redirected into what's next. And that's when life starts to open up. So if you've been spinning your wheels, wondering if you made the right choice, made the right decision, this is your sign. You did. Now back yourself like you would back your best friend or your child or your spouse. There's no second tabs. There's no backup plans. Just you, your decision, and knowing that you're capable of making it work, because self-trust, it's not built in perfection. It's built in the finalization. It's built in the follow through. All right. This was a lot longer than what I had planned. I'm so sorry, but I'm so glad that, I took the time. I didn't rush through everything because there was a lot for you to hear and to hopefully understand, and for what we talked about to sink in. So if you need to go back, re-listen to this. I hope this episode hit you right where you needed it to today. If it did, I would absolutely love it if you would share it with somebody who needs that little nudge to trust themselves again. And if you haven't already done so, I would really appreciate it if you could just take 10 seconds, just leave a thumbs up, leave a short review, leave something that really stood out to you, because your reviews are going to help more people like you find this show, and it's going to keep these conversations going. So I depend on you for getting the podcast out there and for feedback and knowing what you like, what's working for you. It's going to keep that conversation going. So for more resources, deeper trainings, and more ways to connect with me, head on over to my website. It's CourtneySpaeth.com. And remember that once you decide, don't look back. I want you to know that you have got this, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.